Welcome to DC Conversations. And you play Ram opposite, Ashutosh Rana's Ravan in Humare Ram, which has become a big hit across India. You've been staging a lot of shows. And as both actor and producer, how do you balance living the divinity of Ram on stage while also handling the, practicalities of running the production off stage?
Rashmi, uh, when you try to portray something, then it becomes very difficult for you. In my case, I'm not trying to portray anything. It is something which is already there inside me past 5 years. And I made this play only with a lot of bhakti, with a lot of sadhana, with a lot of devotion towards the Almighty. And as far as the production is concerned, yes, it's a tough ask. There's no doubt it's a tough ask. But when you're, again, I would say I'll come back to the same point. When your sadhana and bhakti is absolutely pure and impeccable, things automatically work for you. That is what I've experienced during my journey of Hamare Ram. You know,
Mm.
so it's very simple. I mean, you just take one step at a time, and otherwise, there's so many people asking me, "Oh, you're a businessman, you're this, you're that, and how do you manage this? How do you manage that?" I mean, there's no set formula. If there were a formula, then I think everybody would walk that path and get out of it. But in our case, I mean, there is absolutely no formula, and the only divine power which is there is Lord Prabhu Sri Ram and my samarpan towards him. It's become a global hit. We've staged it in Dubai. We are planning to do it in London in the month of November 2025. And we probably will go back to Singapore in December, and Dubai is already fixed in March again. So it's become global, but again, I said one step at a time. Global does not make me very happy, and if there is an empty house, it does not make me sad at all. So because we made it, we did not make it with any intent. We did not make it with any motive, any goal, any agenda. The only respect was towards the play and towards the Almighty, Prabhu Sri Ram. And before every show, even today, it's been almost 300 shows. So before every show, we do a Ram Stuti Puja, and it lasts for about 5 to 8 minutes. And yeah, that is pretty much all. It's very simple.
Many of your plays have been staged at venues, as prestigious as the Parliament House. What was the most unexpected audience reaction you've received in such a setting?
Well, I won't say Parliament House. I mean, it is just a normal. It's for us. It's another show, whether it is in the Parliament or it is in the Rashtrapati Bhavan or it is in a Kamani Auditorium or I would say Hyderabad Shilpkala Vedika or wherever. It is just another show for us, and we do it with the same poise, with the same devotion, and with the same energy like we do the previous show. So it's as simple as that. But the most beautiful audience that we've received is, of course, from Bangalore. I've never seen such crowds. I was shocked. I was more than shocked because people used to tell me that Bangalore cannot host a Hindi play. And if you do a Hindi play in Bangalore, I don't know whether it will sell or not. And your kind of play is not only Hindi, it is Shuddha Hindi, it's pure Hindi, it's the peak of Hindi and the language and whatever. So I just took a chance. I said, Prabhu ki gatha hai, har jagah honi chahiye. So it has to happen in Bangalore as well. We went to Chennai as well. We got unprecedented responses from Chennai. But more than Chennai, we had the response in Bangalore. Being a cosmopolitan, being a youngish crowd from the age group of 15 till 40 was the maximum footfall. I'm talking about the age group. And people were mesmerized, and they would not let us deliver the dialogues at all because there was so much of applause, there was so much of clapping, there was so much of shouts and roars, and people were following each and every line, and which motivated me to bring about 8 more shows in Bangalore. And this time we are again doing it in Bangalore in the month of October. And we are doing it on weekdays also because weekend is falling short of the kind of response people are showing us in Bangalore. So Bangalore has been a tremendous city. I would say more than Bombay and Delhi. Response-wise. Response means the reaction.
Yeah.
But of course, Delhi and Bombay have staged 100 28 and 69 shows respectively of the 300. So Delhi takes the pie with the number of shows. And of course, the reactions are phenomenal. But Bangalore reactions, there's no comparison. There's absolutely no comparison.
You worked with legends like Sri Devi in Mom and also performed mythological epics on stage. Which of these experiences, tested your craft more, like standing before a camera or facing a live audience in an epic like Mahabharata?
For me, it is purely getting into the skin of the character. So for me, it doesn't really make a difference whether it is a camera or a stage show. I mean, I'm doing my own bit and I'm not acting. That is the most important part. I mean, if you see any of the movies or the plays and whatever I've done till now, it's not a very long journey. Years wise, yes, it is a long journey, and in movies, so it is only one movie, and I stopped doing movies after that. But in theater, it is just a journey in which I get into the skin of the character, and then I'm not acting. It is the divinity which is giving me the power, and I don't call it mythology. I call it history and epic, because there are certain debates going on all over the globe regarding our epics and history being mythology. But the fact remains that there are proofs and there are scientists who've proven it. And I can name the scientists. You can even check on Google and YouTube. They have the full theory, and this is a very renowned defense scientist who has been in a lot of research work for the country. And this fellow has, past 16 years, he has dedicated to the fact that the chronology of the world. So that is what he's done, and in that chronology, it is proven on paper and scientifically that not only Prabhu Shri Ram existed, Krishna existed, but also Devadidev Mahadev existed, and when was the existence, and when was the Sati Yagya that happened and that took place, in which year, precise year also is mentioned, and it's proven, and there's a claimer, not a disclaimer, but there's a claimer that you prove me wrong and we give you $1 million. It's as simple as that. So for me, it is like that, and that is how I've perceived it and I've taken it. But yes, that pretty much answers your question, because for me, every form of acting is samarpan. You know what is samarpan? It is complete surrender.
Surrender, yeah.
To the character that I am playing, and and mostly I do historical characters, epics, godly characters. So the surrender is even more. And when I'm doing one god character, I do not indulge myself in any other character at that time. Why? Because, as I said, it is not a professional acting for me. So for me, it just takes every ounce of my blood on stage to portray the character that I'm portraying, because it is not acting, it is my dedication and discipline and surrender. And when he enters me, when the Lord enters me, he enters me, and for those number of shows in that city, he's there inside me, and it takes me a long time to get him out of it, get him out of my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to get him out, but then we have to continue with our works on Monday mornings, usual office works. So automatically he goes out. And then again, unka avahan karta hu. I call him back and I request him to enter my soul again. And there I am standing in front of my audience and not acting, but that is why people relate to the play. That is why people are relating more to the play, because if it is acting, it is visible. And if it is bhakti, it is something which is more than divine. It is something which people look forward to. It is something which people would, idolize. And people have a lot of sentiments with the Prabhu, the role that I am portraying and the story that we are portraying on stage. So they have a lot of emotions, and we ensure that we look after everybody's emotion, sentiments, philosophies, and of course, the narrative has to go on in a very beautiful way. That is what it is.
You've also produced some of India's most successful plays. Looking back, what do you think has been your biggest contribution to Indian theatre so far?
In one line, ma'am, if you ask me, the biggest contribution that Felicity Theatre has done to the to the society, I would say. I won't say theater because I'm too small a person. My group is too small to dedicate anything or to, bring about any kind of a difference. Because मेरे हिसाब से प्ले से बड़ा कुछ नहीं होता, नैरेटिव से बड़ा कुछ नहीं होता, एक्टर एक्टर ही होता है, प्रोड्यूसर प्रोड्यूसर ही होता है. It is the you can't be bigger than the, I would say, the play or the movie that you're portraying. So the biggest contribution, according to me, that we have done is that we have tried to bring theater in the mainstream commercial arena. So for us, and the difference that we have brought about in theater is that theater no longer is dependent on government grants or on sponsorships. Theater is a self-satisfactory and self-moving vehicle today, which fills its own petrol, which has its own driver, which has its own people, and it's a locomotive which is moving from city to city and making it's become a profit center now. And people are buying tickets, people are ensuring, and the theater actors are not doing anything else. They're only into theater acting. So today, if I ask any of my actors who's not a celebrity, who's a normal theater actor, which is 99% of my plays have normal actors, they're not celebrity. 1% celebrity, of course, is there to get that magnet on the stage. But all the dedicated actors, and they are very good actors, all of them, they're from my own acting school in Delhi, and 400 of them. So if I ask any of them, what are you doing? They say, we are professional theater actors, and our livelihood is only coming and generating or being generated from theater. So this is the biggest change which was never there, during, I would say, even the kings and the queens, because natak, na atke हमने पिछले 8,000 सालों से नाटक किया है. And what is natak? From the Raja Maharaja's times to the, I would say, the governments and the grants and everything, theater has always been dependent on the authorities. Theater has always been dependent on the kings and the queens, or the government, or the ruling government, or what state governments, or whatever, or the sponsorships, or the corporates. But the biggest difference that we have brought about in theater is that theater is no longer dependent either on the government or on the sponsors or the corporates or the governments, ruling state governments. No, nobody. They're not dependent on anyone. We book our own auditoriums, we market our own plays, we write our own plays, we act in our own plays. It's a full economy now. We are doing more than 300 shows in one calendar year today. 300 professional shows without a single government grant. It is in itself a case study.
Yeah, that's true. But with audiences,
so we are generating not only.
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah. I said it is not only generating profits to the production house, it is also giving money and good amount of money to normal actors who otherwise used to, पहले हम पूछते थे कि आप क्या करते हो? Oh, I'm a clerk in the office, or I'm a manager in an office, and evenings I go and practice theater. I exercise it during the weekends. No more, ma'am, no more. People are having a livelihood wide theater. Yeah. What were you saying, ma'am?
Yeah. Also, I mean, talking about celebrated artists, you also have Ashutosh Rana in your production. How was it working with him?
He's a divinity. I mean, you trust me, he's not from this planet. In one word, I would say that he's a person who takes birth once in 1,000 years. A kind of person that he is. 100 सालों में एक बार ऐसा इंसान जन्म लेता है, who's absolutely selfless, who's absolutely adhyatmic, who's absolutely giving, who's a person who has a lot of knowledge about, I would say, the Purans and the Veds and the Shastra. Or it is impossible to get everything in one human being. Lovely, presentable body, and an excellent expression of the art he does on stage. Brilliant actor. Adhyatmic Gyan, his wisdom, his spirituality, his knowledge, his pronunciation, his vocabulary of the language, his control, his grip, his experiences. It's absolutely divine. So There is no two way. When he says something, it is the Ashutosh Rana ji's way, and we all follow it. It's as simple as that. We are very, I would say, very small to even try to even if we try to judge him or try to judge his ways and his methods, we will fail miserably. That is something which I have learned over the years. So if he is doing something, we generally will follow.
These days, audiences are increasingly, drawn to digital and OTT platforms, right? How do you see the theater scene evolving in the next decade to stay relevant and powerful?
See, when you try to stay relevant, you'll never be relevant. That is my theory. When you try to grab something, you'll never be able to grab it. When you try to bring about a change, when you are forcing yourself to bring about a change, you'll never be able to bring about that change. So for me, it is complete experience. My complete and my last, I think, 22 years, 20 years of experience is to deliver the best kind of content. The content word is becoming very common. I hate to use this word, but it is becoming very common. So for people to understand, for the Gen Z to understand, I think you have to get the best content. You have to have the best people, according to you, of course, with your own wisdom. And then you need to market it. If you have a product in hand, if you have a winner in hand, then you need to market it and sell it really well. And automatically people will come. It really doesn't make a difference whether you're a digital, OTT, movie, da da da. Nothing matters. Trust me, nothing matters. We are living in this era only where Humare Ram is existing. We are living in this era where our play, the Mahabharata, also existed and is still existing. Why is it? I mean, if you know, during the 80s and the 90s, when there was a Bachchan film that used to release, there used to be a packed house, a house full for the next 6 months after the release, or maybe people never used to get tickets, and there were people charging premium for tickets. And the scenes outside the cinema halls were absolutely chaotic. Stampedes were going on. I don't know whether you've seen those days or not, but I have. I for sure have seen those days. I'm 49 years of age, and I was a kid. I was 10, 11, 12 years old when I used to go and watch a Bachchan movie, and I never used to get a ticket for the Bachchan movie. So Humare Ram today is a Bachchan movie of the 80s, where you do not get tickets, where there's a chaos outside the auditoriums, where people are hunting and struggling for tickets. That is the power of the so-called, I would say, content that I'm talking about, the marketing that I'm talking about, the production that I'm talking about. There is no compromise and there is no agenda. There is no compromise, no agenda, and there is no vested interest. If we make something only keeping money and the commercials in hand, the creativity will suffer. If we only think of creativity, the commercials will suffer. If we only think of... So there are 10 verticals in theater, according to me, and we have to follow the plan. We have to follow all those 10 verticals simultaneously. We got to move together in all the verticals, and the percentage given to each vertical has to be there with your own wisdom, with your own experience, and with your own understanding of the audience. Today, I won't say proud, but I'm blessed by the Almighty that He gave me some knowledge, some grey matter to understand the veins and the blood of the audience. And I know what exactly they want, how they want, what they want, and what will sell or not sell. Otherwise, I'm not talking about only one Humare Ram. I mean, Humare Ram is the Bahubali of theatre. It's become the Sholay of theatre, and there are two sets of people now. So there's a constant craving for those people, who've not watched it. They really would want to, watch it. But I'm not talking about only Humare Ram. I'm talking about all the Felicity productions. What happens is, Reshma, that each and every production today in Felicity is running to packed houses and houseful shows, and people are actually craving for tickets. So there must be something going right for us. And if I'm able to figure out what is going right, then I think the whole world will be doing the right thing only. So this is one question which nobody knows, Why did a Dharma film do well, vis-a-vis not do well? Why did a Sippi do well in one film and it could not do well in the other film? There's no formula. But I think the the thing that I understand out of it is that there are, for example, as I said, there are 10, 20, 15 verticals in theater, and if you balance them out and if you ride on all the verticals simultaneously with the kind of percentage that each one of them deserves, and the kind of understanding of the audience and the kind of understanding of the marketing and sales, and of course PR plays, of course, a very important role in the marketing of a play, etc. So everything has to be right, 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 right. Only then we are able to do it. And then you have that lion heart of, taking that plunge, because nobody can vouch for theater today. People what there was a set pattern in people's mind. There was a mental block that theater production will never yield profits. That is something which is a prototype going on all across the country we live in. And we are happy to change that, and we are happy that now more and more people, bigger production houses, are resorting towards theater. Of course, it is going to be competition, but why not? People will get a lot of content. And what I feel is that competition also really doesn't make a difference, because if you have watched Humare Ram today, probably you will be able to watch it one time more or twice more or thrice more. But then you will be craving for other content as well. And one Rahul Bhuchar cannot make 10,000 plays, 10,000 contents. So there have to be 5,000 people to be able to make 10,000 good plays. And why not? If it is a change, if it is a revolution, so be it.
So that's amazing. Congratulations on the success, and lovely talking to you. Thanks for connecting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.